So let me guess, you've been making beats, maybe you just started, maybe you've been making beats for a little while and you're improving, but you'd really like to speed that up and go from a decent producer to a professional, high-level sounding producer. Sorry, I'm just talking with my hands so much. I just thought I'd, throw that in there. Today, we're gonna have an honest conversation about that. I'm going to give you guys everything I know and everything I wish I would have done that I really feel like would have sped up the process of me getting good at making beats. And before we get started, feel free to drop a little thumbs up. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. If we can do that, I don't know what I'll do, but that would be tight. So feel free to leave a thumbs up, but let's get into it. Now, tip number one, and this is kind of a mindset you have to have in order to get good at producing, and that's get used to being uncomfortable and feeling hopeless. Really just get used to feeling uncomfortable and like things seem very impossible. You kind of have to live in that space, have to constantly challenge yourself in situations where you feel like, okay, I can never figure out how to do this, because one, plenty of people have. There's no reason that you can't. So, believe in yourself. But for example, like if you're working on creating melodies and things like that and it just seems super hopeless, you might think, okay, I'm just gonna use loops and just give up on that. Now, loops are great. I don't see anything wrong with using them, but taking the time to actually learn how to create your own melodies and your own loops and stuff like that is going to make you a much better producer. You'll be able to dictate where a beat goes versus having to, stumble across a certain loop or find a certain loop that kind of fits the vibe you want to create. In addition to that, when you actually do use loops, you're going to be 10 times more versatile with them versus someone that, maybe only knows how to use loops. So really just kind of get used to being uncomfortable, feeling hopeless, because that's just part of the process and that's something everyone has to deal with. So at this point, you might have noticed, or maybe you didn't notice, that I'm wearing sunglasses inside. It's because these sunglasses have finally dropped on my website, oakway.co. So if you're interested in these, definitely check them out. And yes, I'm going to wear them for the rest of this video. So tip number two, and this was one that I struggled with when I was first getting started. I tried to make beats in high school, a little bit in college as well, and then I finally actually learned how to make beats and got good at it. One day I came home from work, and I was like, I don't really like work. I don't feel fulfilled. I've always wanted to learn how to make beats and get good at it. I just sat down and literally for 4 months straight, every day, I was just trying to make beats, watching tutorials for hours and hours, nonstop, until I finally made something that sounded good. And after that, the rest was history. But that brings me back to my tip, and that is consistency is key. If you want to get good at making beats fast and kind of speed up the process, really the time that you put into it is what you're gonna get out. So if you play, video games, or you like to go out and party with friends and stuff like that, if you have a family, kids, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you might have to cut them off and you just forget about them. Not that serious, but you're gonna have to make sacrifices with your time. Don't say that, oh, I just don't have time in general. I was working 60 plus hours a week when I first started making beats. Even if you only have 10, 15 hours of free time per week, all that time you should spend making beats and getting better if this is really what you want to do. Damn, I feel like I'm scolding you right now. I'm not, I'm just trying to be honest. So next tip, this is something that I definitely feel like slowed down my process initially. As soon as I made one good sounding beat, I was like, all right, time to set up a beat page and start selling beats. It ended up going pretty decent for me, not gonna lie. The second beat I uploaded, I ended up selling because it was a very shitty beat, but somebody liked it. But I do feel like it kind of slowed down my development at getting good at making beats, just because I was spending so much time uploading beats to my YouTube page, BeatStars, trying to get people to buy my beats, creating ads and stuff like that, that over 50% of my time initially was spent focused on trying to sell beats that weren't even that good versus just focusing on, getting good at making beats. So for this tip, I would just say, try not to, skip steps. Try to actually focus on getting good at making good sounding beats consistently and continuing to learn before you go out and, start trying to shop around your beats. Because you're going to get a lot better if you just are able to focus all your time on that. Just, it works. Now, next tip, because I know there's someone going to be like, well, no, you got to post it so people know, you can get feedback and stuff like that. And yeah, feedback is super important. Another way you can get feedback is joining Discords. Check out our Discord. Put your beats in the beat critique section or whatever. And I recommend getting feedback from a variety of sources. Now, people that are going to be the most critical and probably give you the best advice are producers. However, you kind of have to pick and choose who you want to listen to in terms of their advice, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that watch a couple tutorials and think that they're like masters of music production. They might be giving you advice and it could be horrible. So what I'd recommend is, if you see like YouTubers and stuff like that you respect and you like their beats, join people's lives, etc. Donate. It's very valuable, some feedback that you can get from people. And please do not just send me your beats right now, because I'm probably not going to listen to them because I just don't have time, and that is like one of the most common messages I get. And so I am going to do some lives soon. Even just watching those lives and hearing what they say about other people's beats, you can kind of learn the things that you might be doing wrong in your own. So definitely try to join feedback sessions. They can be very helpful, and don't take everybody's advice, because at the end of the day, if you feel like it's dope, and well, if nobody thinks it's dope, then it's probably not dope. So, you know, take some people's advice, but if like half people are saying it's good and half the other people are saying it's bad, in that situation, you might have to just go with your gut, because especially if you're trying to do something new and that people haven't heard before, a lot of people are going to hate on it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, believe in yourself again. All right, so the next tip is all related to your workflow. And what I mean by that is learn shortcuts. Why do you want to learn shortcuts in your DAW? Because it's going to make it so you can move through it more quickly, you can make more beats, you can make edits faster, and that in turn is going to make every moment that you use and spend in your DAW that much more valuable. In addition to that, highly recommend investing in some good sounding VSTs or banks. Personally, you guys know I create a bunch of banks and I use them in all of my beats. And what I personally love about using banks and like having drum kits and stuff like that is that I can very quickly go in and find the sounds that I need. So I don't have to scan through a VST and go through hundreds of different sounds to find the sounds that I want. They're all there, which makes it very quick and easy to actually create beats, and I have to spend less time, you know, looking for sounds. Learn shortcuts, get good sounding VSTs or banks. That way you don't have to spend a bunch of time, you know, just searching and looking and not doing things that are going to help you improve as a producer. My final tip of the day is going to be to learn and try to learn every day. And to get you started on your learning, I've got these 2 master classes here, and each of these videos is kind of just everything that I've learned as a producer that has taken me kind of years to figure out and find through watching different YouTube videos, reading articles, going on forums, etc. All in one place, all 100% free. So definitely feel free to check out these videos. You go to my channel as well under the beginner tutorials, masterclass tutorials, and you know, just my tutorials in general. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. I hope this was helpful, and I love you. Peace.